Welcome back, everyone, to another deep dive. This week, we're taking a closer look at global tech trends. But we're not just skimming the surface. Oh, no. We're going deep, exploring how safety and innovation are kind of intertwined. Sometimes clashing, sometimes complementing each other.
It's a really interesting dynamic, isn't it? It's like every time there's a big leap forward in technology, we have to pause and ask ourselves, okay, but at what cost? What are the potential downsides? And how do we mitigate those risks?
Exactly. It's a constant balancing act. And speaking of balancing acts, Instagram has been juggling a lot lately with their new safety features.
Yeah, they've rolled out a whole suite of them aimed specifically at protecting younger users. Things like spam folders for suspicious accounts.
Oh, and those warnings about messages coming from different countries.
Right.
Because that's a big red flag, potentially.
Exactly. And then there's that screenshot blocking feature for disappearing content, like those vanish mode messages. It's almost like they're trying to build a digital safety net for these kids.
It makes sense, though, right? I mean, with all the scrutiny social media companies have been under, especially here in the U.S.
Oh, absolutely. Those congressional hearings about social media's impact on youth mental health really put the pressure on.
And then there were the Facebook files, right? That whole leak really exposed some of the internal struggles Meta was having with trying to balance user safety and their bottom line.
Yeah. Meta's parent company of Instagram, they've been under fire for sure. And it seems like they're finally starting to take some concrete steps to address those concerns.
Mark Zuckerberg even issued a public apology, right? To all the families impacted by online tragedies.
It was a pretty big deal, actually. But you know what's interesting?
What's that?
Another news item.
I could go on.
At the same time that they're ramping up these safety features, Meta is also bringing back their AI-powered facial recognition technology.
Oh, wow. Really? I thought they shelved that a few years ago because of all the privacy concerns.
They did 3 years ago, to be exact. But now they're saying it's essential for combating things like deep fakes, misleading content, deceptive advertising. All those things that can really erode trust online.
I see. So they're basically arguing that the potential benefits outweigh the risks.
Right. It's a tough call, though, right? Facial recognition is such a powerful tool with the potential for both good and bad. It all comes down to how it's used and whether there are strong enough regulations in place.
It's a real ethical dilemma, for sure.
Yeah.
And, speaking of potentially controversial moves by Meta.
Another news item.
What's that?
They're also banning accounts that track the private jets of celebrities and high-profile individuals.
Wait, seriously? Like, who would even do that?
Oh, there are whole accounts dedicated to it. People tracking the movements of folks like Elon Musk, Bill Gates, you name it.
That's kind of creepy, isn't it? Why is Meta banning those accounts, though?
Well, they say it's to protect privacy, but you have to wonder if it's also about trying to stay ahead of any potential scandals, especially with the U.S. elections coming up.
Yeah, that makes sense. Social media can be a real powder keg during elections, so maybe they're just trying to play it safe.
It's a smart move, for sure. But let's switch gears for a minute and talk about something a little more futuristic.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What do you have in mind?
Another news item.
Hit me with it.
Microsoft is making some serious headway with autonomous agents, like AI that can actually perform tasks without constant human supervision.
Whoa, hold on. Are we talking like robots taking over the world here?
Not quite robots, but it's definitely a big step towards what's called artificial general intelligence, or AGI.
AGI, I've heard of that. It's basically like the holy grail of AI, right? Where machines can think and learn like humans.
Exactly. And Microsoft's new Copilot Studio tool is designed to create these AI agents. It's pretty mind-blowing stuff.
So this isn't just theoretical anymore. We're talking about real-world applications.
Oh, absolutely. They're already rolling out 10 pre-built agents for different business sectors. And soon, users will be able to create their own custom agents.
Wow, that's incredible. But it sounds like Microsoft isn't the only player in this game, right?
Another news item. Anthropic, another company in the AI space, they're actually founded by former OpenAI employees. They've also jumped on the autonomous agent bandwagon.
Oh, really? What are they calling theirs?
It's part of their Claude AI, and it seems like it's getting pretty sophisticated too. It's like we're witnessing this AI arms race unfold in real time.
It is kind of wild, right? All these different companies racing to unlock the full potential of AI. It makes you wonder what the future holds.
And speaking of shaking things up,
Another news item.
Elon Musk, his company X, They're diving headfirst into the AI pool, too.
Of course he is. I mean, is anyone surprised at this point?
Well, they're opening up their Grok AI model to third-party developers through an API, which is a big deal.
API. For those of us who aren't tech wizards, can you explain what that means?
Sure, an API lets other developers integrate Grok's capabilities into their own apps and services. So basically, it opens up a whole world of possibilities for what people can build with this AI.
I see. So it's like giving other developers the keys to the kingdom.
In a way, yeah. And, Elon, being Elon, he's pricing it super aggressively, too. Just $5 million input tokens.
Wow. That's way cheaper than what some of the other companies are charging.
Right. He's definitely trying to disrupt the market. But here's the thing. We don't actually know which version of Grok they're offering through this API.
Oh, so it's kind of a mystery box situation.
Exactly. It could be a limited version or it could be the full-blown Grok experience. We'll just have to wait and see.
Well, whatever it is, it's bound to be interesting.
Oh.
Knowing Elon and his penchant for pushing the boundaries.
Oh, for sure. I mean, there are even rumors about a future vision model for Grok that can analyze both text and images.
Well, hold on. A multimodal AI, that's next level stuff.
It is. And it really highlights the different approaches these companies are taking to AI development.
Yeah.
OpenAI and Anthropic, they seem to be prioritizing safety and reliability.
Right, like they're trying to build AI that's beneficial to humanity and won't turn into some kind of Terminator scenario.
Yeah, exactly. But then you have X, which seems to be embracing a more, let's say, irreverent approach.
Irreverent. How so?
Well, Grok is known for being kind of witty and even sarcastic at times. It's almost like they're trying to give AI a personality.
That's fascinating.
Yeah.
I guess it makes sense though, right? Different companies, different philosophies, different goals for AI development.
Absolutely. It's like a microcosm of the wider debate about the future of AI and its role in society.
It's funny though. With all this talk about AI taking over the world, there are still some things humans do better. Like building supercomputers.
Apparently.
Another news item.
Tell me about it.
So apparently Elon Musk managed to build a massive supercomputer for X in just 19 days.
19 days? Are you serious?
I'm not kidding. It usually takes like 4 years to pull off something like that.
That's insane. How is that even possible?
Well, they used a ton of NVIDIA H200 GPUs, like 100,000 of them.
100,000 GPUs. That's more than I have brain cells. It's potentially the fastest supercomputer on the planet. And it just goes to show you the kind of resources being poured into AI development these days.
It's mind-boggling. It's like we're living in a science fiction movie sometimes.
I know, right? But let's shift gears for a moment and talk about something a little less intimidating, like YouTube.
Okay, back to reality. What's up with YouTube?
Another news item.
Go on.
They're rolling out a new search feature that lets you search within the comments section of videos.
Wait, what? You can search through the comments now.
You can. It's pretty cool, actually. It's like they're recognizing that the comment section is a treasure trove of information.
I mean, I guess that's true. You often find some really insightful stuff in the comments, sometimes even more so than in the videos themselves.
Exactly. And this new feature makes it so much easier to find that hidden gem of a comment. It could revolutionize how we discover and engage with content on YouTube.
It'll be interesting to see how creators adapt to this new feature too.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll start tailoring their content more towards what people are discussing in the comments.
Yeah, it could definitely change the dynamics of content creation. And speaking of innovation, let's talk about clean energy for a minute.
Okay, I'm all ears. What have you got?
Another news item.
Hit me with it.
Westinghouse Electric. They've developed something called the eVinci microreactor.
A microreactor? What in the world is that?
It's basically a portable nuclear reactor, small enough to fit on a truck.
A nuclear reactor on wheels? Are you pulling my leg?
Nope, it's the real deal. And it could be a game changer for how we power everything from data centers to remote communities.
So instead of those massive nuclear power plants, we're talking about these little mini reactors that you can just transport wherever you need it.
Exactly. It's part of this growing trend towards small modular reactors, or SMRs. They're designed to be safer, more efficient, and more cost-effective than traditional nuclear power.
It sounds almost too good to be true. So how long can this eVinci thing run for?
They say it can run for 8 years on a single fuel unit.
Yeah.
And then you just swap it out like a giant battery.
That's incredible. I mean, it's amazing to think that we're making such strides in clean energy technology alongside all these advancements in AI and social media.
It is. It's a reminder that progress is happening on multiple fronts. And that's a good thing, because we're going to need all the ingenuity we can get to tackle the challenges facing humanity.
Well said. And speaking of challenges, we can't ignore the latest CO2 level readings.
Another news item.
Yeah, those numbers are not looking good.
They're not. The levels keep climbing higher than last year, higher than a decade ago. It's a stark reminder of the urgent need to address climate change.
It's definitely a sobering thought.
Mhm.
But hey, maybe some of these technological advancements we've been talking about can help us find solutions.
I hope so. We're going to need all hands on deck to turn things around.
You're absolutely right. It's not just about developing new technologies, but also about changing our behaviors and making more sustainable choices.
And that's what these deep dives are all about, right?
Yeah.
Getting people to think critically about these issues and to engage in these important conversations.
Absolutely.
Hmm.
So to all our listeners out there, we challenge you to think about this. With all this talk about AI and clean energy and social media, what are the most pressing issues facing humanity right now? And what role can technology play in solving those problems?
Yeah, it really puts things into perspective, doesn't it?
It does. It's like we're on this crazy roller coaster of technological advancement. And it's exhilarating and terrifying all at the same time.
And I know you mean. It's like we're constantly trying to catch our breath and figure out, okay, what just happened and where are we going next?
Exactly. It's like we're living in the future, but we're still trying to figure out the rules of the game.
Well, and that's the big question, isn't it? What does it all mean for us? Where are we headed in this tech-driven world?
Yeah, what does the future hold? Especially with AI advancing at this crazy pace, like these autonomous agents coming online, it feels like we're on the verge of something huge.
It does, doesn't it? Think about it. What if AI starts handling all those mundane tasks, freeing us up to focus on things that really matter? You know, like creativity, innovation, human connection.
That's the optimistic view, right? But what about the flip side? What if AI gets so smart that it surpasses human control? That's a pretty common fear.
It's a valid concern for sure. I mean, we've all seen those sci-fi movies where the robots take over. It's a cautionary tale. But I think it's important to remember that we're the ones building this technology. We have the power to shape its development and to ensure that it's used for good.
That's a good point. It's not just about the technology itself, but about how we choose to use it. It's a huge responsibility.
It is. And it's not just on the shoulders of the tech giants or the folks making policy. We all have a role to play in shaping this future.
I agree. We can't just be passive consumers of technology. We need to be active participants in its evolution.
Exactly. By staying informed, having these conversations, and demanding that technology is developed and used responsibly, we can steer things in the right direction.
Well said. So to our listeners out there, we'll leave you with this thought. With AI advancing at such an incredible rate, what role do you see autonomous agents playing in our lives in the near future? What excites you about this technology? And what worries you?
Share your thoughts. Keep exploring these topics, and remember, the future is not predetermined. It's something we create together.
That's a great note to end on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.